So after forever I am finally back to making videos. Yes, it took me a long time to return, but it was kind of worth it because in the meantime I actually found out the cause of Audacity just corrupting itself. It wasn't a software issue, it was actually hardware wise. One of my CPU fans just broke and my hard drives were overheating and I didn't know about it. And after that I bought a new CPU fan, and after installing it I booted my PC up and it was just working fine. I didn't have time to record then, so I just turned it off, and on the day after I tried to boot it up again and it just wasn't working. If I tried to boot it up, it would enter this weird cycle of just turning itself on and off again. And the first thing I tried to do was to go on BIOS and kind of like change my boot up location, because this works sometimes for whatever reason. And it did. I wasn't even able to enter BIOS. It would just keep like resetting itself over and over. And after 3 hours of doing like whatever I could to try and fix my PC, I was on the edge of giving up. I tried to open up BIOS again and it just worked, and now my PC is fine and I have no idea of what just happened. But that's not the point of today's video, so let's just jump straight into it. Hello everybody, I am Lak2 and welcome back to another video. So, paint cans. Everybody loves them, right? Especially edgy scout mains. And they just let you customize your loadouts even more than just by buying some cosmetic items and leaving them as they are. And most people have already used them. Even if you are a free-to-play, you've very likely received one as a drop. They're kind of rare, but if you have some playtime, like around 100 hours, you've most likely received one or two if you're very lucky, and maybe you've even painted a ghostly gibbous with it. But one thing most people don't realize about paint cans is that some of their names actually aren't just like creative ways of calling the paint. They're actually references to other things. Some of them are in the game itself, some of them are even from, real life. And that's what I'm going to be talking about here today. So I even have a couple of bonuses at the end of this video that aren't really related to the paint can names themselves, but they're still related to these items and I think they're kind of interesting. Also, sorry, I think I've already hit my microphone twice while recording this, so yeah, let's go. So I've ordered this list from the most obvious references to the less obvious ones, and we're just gonna begin with the color Muskelman Braun. So, as kind of goofy as it may sound, Muskelman Braun is actually the German word for Muscleman Brown. It's not just like a goofy way of saying it, it's the actual word. The color number 216190-216 was one that, when I first started playing this game, really bothered me because I didn't know what it meant. Like, it was just a bunch of numbers, but now I didn't even have to search. I just realized it was like the RGB value for that color. Now, on the Uber update, when Team Fortress 2 actually turned free to play, a bunch of paint can colors were sampled from existing player models. For example, the value of Teamwork was sampled from the cross on the medic's backpack, Waterlogged lab coat was sampled from the medic's coat, Balaclavas are forever not only is a reference to this James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever, obviously, but it's actually like a balaclava is the type of hat that Spy wears. Not really a hat, right? Yeah, a mask. So yeah, the Balaclavas Are Forever color is sampled from the Spy's mask, and the Honor of Debonair is from the Spy's suit, and an Operator's overalls is sampled from the Engineer's overalls. And also, Team Spirit is based on the team colored parts of the class icons. You know, these alternate ones that you can use if you just go into the advanced options. In my opinion, they're uglier, but Team Spirit is a nice paint, so, you gotta pass that out. And Cream Spirit is based on the orange and yellow coloring on these class icons. Now, the color Zephaniah's Greed is actually pretty obvious if you are aware of the Team Fortress 2 lore, but if you're not, Zephaniah's Greed is referencing to the rich Zephaniah man, the father of Redmond and Blutarch, which are the owners of teams Red and Blue. I'll link you guys to the lore page on the TF2 wiki, and there you can have a nice chart that's basically a resume of everything that happens in this game's lore. Now, the paint Radigan Conager's Brown is actually a reference to, Radigan Conager, the engineer's grandfather. That's because, the engineer is called Del Conager, and that's his grandfather. So I don't know why this brown color is named after him. It may be from his gloves or maybe from his clothes on the comic, but they don't really seem to be the same color. so I don't really know. But all that I know is that Radigan Conagers is the name of the guy, so it's a reference nonetheless, in some way. But yeah, that's it. Now for the last couple of paint can names, it's where things get quite interesting. So we have the paint named After 8, and it might seem simple just because it's a very dark color, and you know, after 8, so it might just be like color from the sky when it's like 9 p.m. unless you live in like North Pole or whatever. But it's actually not that simple. After 8 is a brand of after dinner mint fondant filled chocolate thins called After 8. They're from Nestle, or at least they were bought by Nestle, and the paint hue is identical to the hue of the wrappers for these chocolates. After 8 chocolates were designed for eating after dinner, hence the name After 8. And the paint Amends Mint is presumably also based off After 8 chocolates, because it really resembles the color of the fill of these chocolates. And before we end this video, I have these bonuses I promised you guys at the beginning. So we're gonna start off with the first of two, which is the fact that the backpack image for the brown paint can is a screenshot of a brown paint can model. The model was not distributed in the VPK files, yet the textures are present. I don't really know if that means that the other ones aren't screenshots from models or whatever, or if they're just manipulated versions that they edited in the other colors, but that's all people know about this. And now a fact that more people know about, but if you haven't noticed already, every single team color can only be purchased except for the Team Spirit one. Every other team color cannot be dropped or uncrated, yet Team Spirit can be uncrated. You cannot receive team colors as drops, whereas for the other normal colors, you can actually receive most of them as drops. Some of them you cannot receive as a drop, some of them you cannot receive as an uncrate, but Valve being Valve, everything is purchasable, so yeah. And guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. In my opinion, this didn't turn out really great. I don't know, it's not the way I presented, I think, but rather this topic. I don't know, it sounds kind of interesting, but I just don't think it makes up for the time I've been absent. But, you know, I think it turned out somewhat great nonetheless. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I am still working really hard on videos, okay? I have quite a ton of ideas ready to just record and edit up, and I'm gonna be trying to release them really soon. So without anything else to be said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next one, and peace. I'll be glad when you're gone, you rascal.